Alright guys, welcome back to Market Master, Roland Attenborough. Thank you for having me as your guest today. And today this production is actually for Liam, and you can actually thank Liam. He wanted to know what the price longitude was for 91 days later from these tops in December 17th, 2024 and January 20th, 2025, 91 days later. Anyways, I went ahead and I did all this work, but I did it all for Bitcoin. Now, it worked out that the longitude was right for that, but I realized I did it for the wrong asset, XRP. Now, I think that was back in April, I believe that might have occurred. Anyways, sorry, Liam, for taking so long to get back to you, but I thought maybe we would revisit this. So, to my XRP community, let's get going. We're going to talk about longitude and how to do this. So, I wrote out all the work ahead, and let's go revisit all this stuff. So, these are typical type worksheets for working out the longitude of the planets using the tool that I purpose-built to identify the longitude of prices that William Gann had, of course, made. And I own all his books and courses. And in the last couple of years, I've made this breakthrough and been able to do the longitude of the prices. And it's been a very painstaking process. So today we're going to take a little look at the square and the longitude of the prices, but I'm going to kind of get us kind of sped through a little bit of stuff so that we can catch up and look at what Liam asked me. All right, here we go. So on December 17th, the prices were 272, 243 for a low and a close at 255. So I went back and I did all the planets and put them on my tool. And on the first ring of the tool of 360 degrees of the circle, I took the longitude of the planets in all their places and I added them up and divided them by the sum of the total. And it ended up that my work showed $202.25 and could encompass up to $3. How is that so? Well, the ones where we had low degrees, I just took the opposite, or 180 degrees from 115 in here. So 115 is right here. So the opposite is on this side. So that's that price. So that helped me to identify a little higher if I was off. So it's 272 to 243, but it closed at 255. So we were very, 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 very close. Okay, with this tool. So January 20th, the actual top was 336, and the low was 290, and the close was 308. So I did a longitude of price for that top. What tops are we talking about here? Let's go back and let's just show them. Okay, it's these tops here. So this one up here on the 20th is the longitude of where the planets were in all the signs. And I took the first ring again and I went through it, and the sum total divided by the sum of 12 was 243. I also did the same thing and took the lower octaves and again went to the opposite side of where it is and looked for its opposite price. That yielded 318. So the work for that day yielded $2.43 to $3.18. That day of January 20th, the price was 336 to 290 and closed at 308. So you can see how powerful this is. Let's just take a look at today or yesterday or a couple of days just prior. so you can just see how this is working as well as we'll look at the work that Liam asked for. Actually, let's go take a look at Liam's work first. So this is what Liam asked for. So he asked, first question and second question was, what's the price going to be around these dates, 91, 92 days later? All right, so I went ahead and I did that. So let's go ahead and let's look at that. So the planets, again, I went and I looked at where they were, and then I put them and plot them on the scale of where they were. I added the sum total up, divided them by 12, and 258. So on that exact day, it was 233 to 222, and it closed at 229. However, the day after, or the 19th, the following day, the price was 258 to 226, and it closed at 242. So our longitude of price nailed it 100%. Okay, let's go on to the second problem that he asked. He asked for the top, or what the, sorry, not the top. He asked, what would the longitude of price be from the top in January that I asked you? So 91 and 92 days later, I populated the same thing. And I went and I plotted all this on the scale of the circle, and the sum total came to, oh, I guess I didn't finish that one off on this one. Or did I? Maybe I did finish it off somewhere. Oh, 1 second while we finish that off. I believe that one showed us, if I added all that up, sorry, just 1 second. All this added up right here is on my worksheet here. Oh, 3821 divided by the sum total of 12 equals 318. Okay, so it looks like that was a little high on that one. Let's go take a look at why, or let's add up all of them just to make sure that my work was right. All right, because that's what I like to do. So let's go double check it. 210 plus 310 plus 363 plus 355 plus 121 plus 89 plus 356 plus 65 plus 360 plus 303 plus 355 plus 175 for the south node equals, oh, sorry, that was wrong. I'm so sorry. Let's go recorrect this. So the sum total is 3062. Let's divide it now by the sum of all of them by 12, and we get a price of 255. Well, substantially lower, that's for sure. So that day, the price was 213 to 205, and the closed at 209. Now our longitude on our scale was slightly high. Now that was for April 21st, okay? So let's go take a look at what he's talking about here. Because he asked, right, from this top here, 91 to 92 days, right? So let's go take a look, right? It's April 21st, he asked, right? And it's right here before it took off, right? And what were we saying it should average? 255. Okay, well, 255 was not achieved right away on the next few days. However, it started creeping up, and by the May 12th, it was 258, as I marked it down here. It actually closed at the swing high just under 258 here. Closed at 247. made a high at 265 and a low of 235. And it made a subsequent second lower low between the 23rd here at 247, 227, and closed at 2 right here. See this? The fake out. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about the chart now that I showed you some longitude of prices and how it's possible we can get really close. Okay, so let's see. Oh, right on. Let's go up here. We're going to take a look at this one. So for July 17th on the first ring for XRP for today, or sorry, for July 17th and stuff. Let's go march this forward. Then we're going to talk about the angles. Then we're going to talk about some other stuff. I'm just going to hide a bunch of stuff here. All right. So we are now talking about this area here, July 17th and this 18th right here. So the 17th, we know that the price leapt up and it made a price of, 354 and a low of 292, and it closed at 326. So we've barely leapt up a little more right now, so we're in a tiny bit of a corrective phase while we re-gear for another move up, which I think is possible and similar to the wave that occurred back here, which I'm just going to show you. Way back here when everyone told me I was totally wrong and I was banana, I was totally nuts, and that we would never see $1.80, never see $1.80 Bitcoin. And by the end of November, we closed $1.80. And I said that we could leap up and do these price levels. Nobody listened to me. I was laughed at. By the way, I was totally right. Anyways, now that I have your attention and I got rid of all the haters, all of you guys go and take a look at your second curve on your XRP. Go have a look at my work again. All right, so let's just carry it forward now. So I went over and I looked at the high and the low for this day and the longitude of the price, and I made a longitude of the price based on the rings here on where the planets were, and I came up with another one of 270, just using not a different scale, but the same. I just added 360 to every 360 until I got to 1800. Anyways, or 180 every time you add 36 to the circle. 36 plus 36 is 72, right? 108, 144, 180, 2160 or 216, right? So you get the idea, right? Adding 36, right? So we add 36 on our rings to keep marching up. Anyways, so I did another one. I stated it should be about 270 for a close, around that day. And of course, we didn't close at 270. We were much higher, right? Much higher. So in the coming days, one of these planets moves very fast, like the moon, perhaps? Okay. So when the moon moves rather quickly, it can make prices jump up and down really fast, and we can go back and forth between resistance levels based on where these bodies are, and we can see that from time to time. Now this one I have just tuned to XRP. This is one of my older squares that I took to a trade show and whatnot. It has a great big scuff mark on it. Anyways, I just use it for a bunch of my other assets so that I don't have to keep retooling my scale and what I have laid out even though the planets are the same every day for the longitude every day as we change. All right, so moving forward now, what are we looking at in the future? Well, we have to look back at the past, and we have to decide, when we measure, and I measured the amount, because I think we're about to have, sorry, you can't see this under the square, I gotta move this back over. Okay, I think we're having these measured moves, and I copied this move here to show you that history does repeat, just as the Bible states and just as William states. Anyways, I wanted to point that out to you because we're in for a very possible top here, August 1st and 2nd, and into August. So let's go take a look at this. And let's move this forward now. Oh, before we do that, I wanted to show you something so that you're aware. Okay, these tops here and all these moves here, they're all the same. Let's go take a look at them. Okay, I measure everything, so. All right, guys, here we go. So we're measuring the market to see what it does, right? And this angle is very active, and I carried it forward a few more times. Let's go take a look at it. Hi, Sam. How are you, babe? Love you. I hear you. I see you, baby. Yes, baby. You're so beautiful. Oh, you're a little wet. It's raining, huh? Okay, so this last one here, guys, you can see this one right here is the same angle. So I'm really sure that we're about to move up. Now you see this wave moved up exactly the same here. This is our first wave here. Okay, so we're about to have a wave down and another very significant wave up. Oh, babe, come here, baby. You come sit with me. All right. All right, good to see you. So this wave up, I think, moving up again, we're going to see a little pullback right in here. And then we're going to see another move up. And I believe by the 1st and 2nd of August, we'll have our top in place here, if you see that. And it may come a little sooner. It may come a little sooner for XRP, but I'm watching to see if it has a reaction here. I'm watching to see this because we need to see if it's going to carry on with the same market behavior that happened. Oh gosh, yes. It's nice to see you too. Boy, you sure are purring. Okay, babe. So you can see that the market is about to repeat possibly these maneuvers, and I wanted you to pay attention to this. So this goes out to my XRP community, and I'm leaving the comments open. You can also hit me up and check out my one-on-one workshops where I have a welcome workshop where you come with me for one day. You get a 5-day vacation all paid for you and your wife or your kids. And I teach you all this stuff in one day, or as much as I can, possibly. You make a forecast and you do a bunch of these things, and you learn the scales and do a bunch of stuff, and you receive one of these, and you get to keep it all. My advanced class is 3 days. You get a 5-day vacation, all inclusive. That's $10,000. It's 3 intense days with me, and we pour over all this stuff, and you fill out all these worksheets. I have lots of booklets of worksheets that you'll be filling out. When you're done, you will never need me again to do any of this stuff. You'll be a market master. And that's for very serious traders. It's for a limited amount. I'm taking on 10 one-on-one 3-day event clients, and my 1-day workshops, like I said, it's $2,000, and I'll teach you as much as I can in 1 day. But the 3-day ones are for very serious, and that's for a limited time. And this is all starting August 1st. Take a look for those videos coming up where I show you all the stuff. Also, guys, watch out into the late part of this year. I told you that in September and October and November to watch out. I think we're about to see some higher prices. Doesn't mean we'll be as low as is 400. If we continue on, it's very possible, unlikely, we can make it up to this 5 and 560 level, but 540 anyways, or just there under, maybe 480. We'll probably heal somewhere around this 480 level. Why? Well, on this scale, 480 is sitting right here where Pluto is. Also, so is 300 in our first ring. So watch out for that. This is how serious this stuff is. Right? And 360 on our circle, right? On our first ring. What do we got here? Saturn at 1 degree Aries. So basically 361 degrees. What's the price? Right? 365 was the highest we went. Come on, guys. Right? Saturn is restriction. So, if we jump above this and get into new territory and we close here, then we are majorly going up, and we will be going up to 540. That'll be our next major target, other than 480, where Pluto is sitting. So, and our other ring, here I have 35 and 36 here, right, from 1800. That's from our low in June, by the way, right here. I've tuned this, so I have 2 scales on this one. So I've fine-tuned it, 1800, right, plus 3600, or 3600, gives you 540. And on this scale, I was able to find the longitude again on this one by fine-tuning that scale. That's right, this tool is so sharp, it is so incredible. I can teach you everything about this in like 3 days. And then you won't need me ever again. Anyways, peace and love to you all, brothers and sisters.